let us take a comfortable seat for yourself, whether that's cross-legged, whether that's butterfly, whether the legs are out in front of you, whether you are kneeling. I really like to kneel over my bolster lately. um, and you can also use a block to sit on, a bolster to sit on, or a wall to prop yourself against, of course, as my dad goes to the wall to use the prop. And we will take our Jan Mudra, our nice, simple but effective mudra. So the thumb presses lightly. We don't have to press, but nice and lightly. And the other three fingers stay together and outstretched, but again, not tense. So, it's supposed to be nice and relaxed in a mudra. And then relax the hands down to the knees, palms face up. Relax the wrists, soften through the elbows, and try and let the shoulders drop down the back. So we want to increase this space between the earlobes and the clavicle, the collarbones here. And just feel the chest, nice and broad, nice and open. And you can soften through the rib cage, drawing slightly the abdomen back towards the lower back, and you feel the spine is firm yet relaxed. And maybe you close the eyes, maybe you take a soft gaze, but start to feel relaxed through the facial muscles, softening through the skin, particularly the area just in the forehead, around the eyes, and around the jaw. And come to a steady and equal breath. Breathing in and out of the nostrils at equal length. And equal length means that the count, maybe you like to count the breaths, is the same as you breathe in, as the same as you breathe out. As the breath becomes more settled, slower, deeper, calmer, more relaxed, so do you. So does your mind, and so does your body. You begin to unite this trinity, mind, body, and breath working together as one. The mind is in the present moment, not getting distracted, and the body starts to release tightness and tension from your day. And this yin practice brings us back to the beginning of yin for yourself, maybe the first time you actually came to the mat to experience a yin yoga practice. And seeing your practice as if it was the first time, and through the eyes of your beginner self. So really drawing inwards, not getting distracted by other thoughts, but really tuning into sensations, experiences, what comes up for you, and you hold and you find stillness in a posture. When your intuition speaks, it's unmistakable. Sometimes it's a gut feeling. Sometimes it's a feeling in your heart. Intuition speaks in different ways to each one of us. Take some time in your practice today to find how your intuition speaks to you. Listen to your inner voice and recognize your inner hunches or truth signals. The more you act and you feel your intuition, the stronger it becomes. And eventually, your intuitive cues will be unmistakable. Gently releasing the mudra, opening up the whole of your palm, stretching the fingers out, stretching the thumbs. Feel receptive, welcoming for your practice. Wiggle the fingers. Get some mobilization into the wrists. Start to take that into the whole arm, into the elbow joint, and then into the shoulders, circling the shoulders up and back. Breathing in as you lift the shoulders up towards the ears, breathing out as you circle them back. So imagine that you're drawing a big circle with the top of your shoulder. And just notice those clicks and any crunches there. Try and make that as nice and smooth, lifting the arms up above the head, interlace the fingers, and just push the palms away. You might keep the arms bent here, but you may choose to stretch the arms, keep the shoulders away from the ears, and then lengthen the spine, lift the chest just a little bit, lift the gaze towards the knuckles. Try not to let the head drop too much behind you, and then release the hands, and they come behind you. Once more, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders away, and press the knuckles downwards. Again, lifting up the chest, lifting the gaze. Breathe in, bring yourself to center, and bring the arms in front of you. Interlace the fingers once more and push the knuckles away from you as you round through the belly and round through the rib cage and the shoulders, letting the chin just drop towards the chest. Feel the broadness of your shoulder blades and your back. And then release the hands and lift up, right arm up and over, exhaling. Stretching through the side body. Breathing in, bring to center, and exhale over to the other side. Breathe in, breathe out, and breathe in back into center. Take the feet out in front of you and just give yourself a big hug today. So wrap the arms around the knees, letting the head come down towards the knees and just soften through the shoulders, soften through the head and the neck. Give yourself that big, big hug. And then rolling up through the spine. And let's just come into a tabletop position. So tabletop for you, you can have the knees underneath the hips and the wrists either a little forward of the shoulders or underneath the shoulders. Spread the palms, spread the fingers, making sure the middle finger is in line with the outer edges of your mat. And just come into a nice and gentle, not forced, cat and cow with your breath. Inhaling for cow. And exhaling, rounding for cat. Let that trinity of mind, body, and breath work together. And just let all of your day, all of your cares and worries, just for the next 60 minutes, release back into child's pose. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, and relax the hips back towards the heels, reaching the fingertips forward. Lengthen the spine on the inhale and exhale. Relax the head down to either a block or to the mat. This is our first yin posture, so making yourself comfortable here that you can stay and hold for a number of minutes. So having props by the side of you, whatever you need, help to fill the space between you and the ground. In each of our postures today, we want to be able to feel something. We want to try to work towards our edge, having a little bit of challenge in the posture, and just taking note of the sensations that we feel. Equal breath, inhaling. Equal breath, exhaling. Softening as much as you can here with each breath out. Letting go of tension, tightness, and gripping. Never holding the breath. Try to soften through the joints, relaxing the muscles. Nice and slowly, starting to slide forward. So you're going to come all the way into your prone position. So just bringing the knees parallel, taking time to get there, never rushing to come out of a posture, bringing the big toes to touch, letting the heels fall out to the side and just relax here. Let everything soften. Belly, glutes, back of the legs, spine, shoulders. Give the hips a little wiggle from side to side so that you can release into the pelvis. Let's come into a Sphinx pose. So the forearms come out in front of you. You might wish to widen the feet, but try to make sure that all 10 toes are touching. And the elbows might be under. I got a little glimpse of Patsy there walking across the screen. So elbows might be underneath the shoulders, or you can always bring them forward just a little bit, but try not to let the neck sink into the shoulder sockets. So you're going to be pushing away from the mat to support yourself and lifting up through the chest. The chest opens out forward. And come into this posture where this is our second posture. So again, we're holding this one for a number of minutes. Make sure the elbows don't go too wide, making sure that they're in line with the shoulders. And the feet, the more challenging a back extension is when the feet come together, but the toes and the heels maybe are connected. I tend to like my feet a little bit wider in back extensions in prone. So again, working towards your own personal edge, no one else's edge. Everyone's edge is different in every posture and each and every asana. And your edge in Sphinx might be on a level of 1 to 10, might be a 3 or a 4. Somebody else's, it might be a 7 or an 8. Maintaining that long, deep, and slow breath. Inhaling, exhaling of equal length. Remember the trinity of mind, body, and breath working as one. Letting your intuition guide you towards your edge. And just pressing into the palms, lifting the elbows just slightly as they widen, and you roll down through the rib cage. Head comes to the back of the hands, big toes touch, heels fall out. Relax and soften everything as you come out of the posture. Allow everything to release. Feel the body respond. It's always important to take these rest postures in between. So you might wish to use a strap for the next posture, which is lying quad stretch. So if your hand doesn't quite meet your foot behind you, right hand to right foot, you can always loop a strap around the foot there and then start to draw the heel in towards the buttock. Nice deep exhale, letting the hip flexor slowly release down towards the mat and drawing the heel in towards the buttock rather than the outer hip. Nice deep exhale. Softening into this lying stretch. Making sure both shoulders are drawing down towards the mat together in symmetry. If you need to lift the right shoulder up too much, you're taking away a little bit of the posture, so that's why the strap comes in handy if you can't quite reach the foot. And try to relax the grip here as well. You know, we tend to hold on to our limbs quite tightly, but you can relax the fingers, relax the hand, relax the grip around the foot. And slowly release the hand, let the foot and the leg float down. Relax for a moment, just feel the body respond as you come out of the posture. So we're holding all of these postures for about 3 minutes, finding that calm and stillness. And taking to the other side. So right hand stays underneath the forehead, left hand comes back to take hold of the foot, or you can use that strap and then lift the thigh and the knee away so that you gently draw the left hip flexor downwards. You're stretching into the hip flexor and the quadricep there. And again, just loosen that grip just a little bit on the hand to the foot. And soften into the posture for the next 3 minutes. Trying to keep both shoulders symmetrical towards the mat.
This is the first posture where we will have done both sides of the body, right and left legs. So just being aware and noticing any differences, any imbalances that you might find that might come up for you. Nice and slowly release the hand, let the foot float its way down as you bring the left hand back underneath the forehead. Once again, just come back into that neutral prone posture where the big toes are together, the heels fall out. So it's basically pigeon-toed, but you're relaxing through the back of the legs, relaxing through the front of the legs, and particularly relaxing into the belly and the buttocks. So from here, you may wish to simply turn onto your back, or you might want to go to the other end of your mat. That's perfectly okay, but have your strap handy. So you might just be able to roll over onto your backs and have the strap by the side of you for the moment as you gently draw the knees in towards the chest. And as you come onto your back, just notice what we've just done, the flip, where you've been on the front of your body for a little bit with the child's pose and also the quad stretch and the sphinx. But now we come onto our back. Just notice how, the flatness of your spine connects in towards the ground. You feel supported and held underneath you. You can just mobilize a little bit as you massage into the lower back, circling the knees round one way and the other. So this is coming into the back of the legs. That was for the front of the legs. So this is a reclining leg stretch. So keeping the right knee in towards the chest and just placing the left foot down onto the mat with the bent knee. Draw the knee in towards the chest as you get the thigh in towards the rib cage and the belly. And from here, you can simply loop the strap around the foot and then starting to extend the leg up towards the sky, softening through the back of the knee, softening through the back of the hamstring. Your right foot does not have to be flexed or pointed, but bring the hands all the way down to the strap, close to the body, so that you can relax the elbows by the side of you. You're not holding that leg up, the strap is, so if you were to let go of the strap, the leg would fall. Your choice, you might wish to extend the underneath leg all the way along the mat, or you can keep it bent. It's going to intensify that stretch in the right hamstring. Again, you don't want to have to grip onto the strap too tightly so that the knuckles go white. You just simply hold the strap nice and loosely. If the leg begins to tremble or you feel it's a little too much into the back of the leg, soften at the back of the knee and drop the thigh downwards towards the belly and towards the chest, keeping the leg, the lower leg, up towards the sky. It's much better if you drop the knee towards the chest than send the leg away and hold the leg further away from you. Soften into the forehead, around the eyes and around the jaw, and just find that steady inhale and exhale of breath. We're going to take it to reclined leg stretch 2, which is opening of the hip, and that leg goes out to the side of you. And again, you can support the leg with the strap. Your elbow might relax down towards the mat. The leg does not have to be pointed or flexed, but try to anchor yourself through the left side, relaxing the underneath glute of your right buttock. So that leg is opening out to the side again. It doesn't have to be straight. It can be bent, but you're supporting the leg with the strap. If you were to let go of the strap, the leg would fall. You would most likely roll onto the right side. So just notice here as we change the posture, what target areas you feel this for yourself. You might feel it into the inner groin, inner thigh, maybe into the hip flexors. And let that leg be heavy. Feel it getting heavier with each breath. Next breath in, use the core, use the strap, bring the leg back into center. We're not going to do reclined leg stretch 3 for now, but we're going to release the strap. We're going to let that right leg extend itself all the way along the mat. Just take a moment to just feel in Shavasana how long that right leg may now feel. Mine feels like somebody stretched it a little bit further away from me. But it also feels lighter. Draw the knees in. Both thighs come to the chest and the belly, and you roll and massage out before we come to the other side. Circling the knees one way and the other. And then keeping the left knee in towards the chest, right foot bent and sole of the foot on the floor. Right knee bent, what I meant to say. Hug that knee in towards the chest as you lengthen the spine, relaxing the fin, relaxing the neck, and then placing that strap over the sole of your left foot. So repeating, recline leg stretch 1 and 2. Extending the leg as you breathe out. It doesn't have to be pointed or flexed. Drawing the hands all the way down to the end of the strap. Bending at the back of the knee, dropping the thigh towards the chest should you need to. And notice if you have lifted the chin slightly and you're arching through the back of the neck, or if you can actually lengthen the neck out. You've got this space between the chin and the chest, about the size of an apple. Once you feel comfortable here, you may wish to extend the right leg all the way along the mat. That intensifies and deepens the stretch for you in the back of that left leg. Try to soften through the back of the knee and the hamstrings. Slow, long, deep breaths in. Slow, long, deep breaths out. On your next exhale, start to release that left leg out to the side, opening up through the hip. Just pulling your hand along the strap just a little bit so that the elbow can support Releasing the right arm out to stabilize you and pulling down through the right side of the body so you're not rolling over too much to the left. Soften the grip into the hands. Try not to get those white knuckles. Soften the glutes and let the leg become heavy and heavier. And just remind yourself in these postures, in the eyes of a beginner to your yin practice, what this actually feels like for you. Where do you feel the target areas working towards your edge the most? And also bearing in mind it's right to left. So finding the differences and the imbalances, not judging or criticizing them, but just noting and observing. Maybe you feel that leg getting heavier and closer towards the earth as you relax even more. Breathing in, bring that leg back into the center. You pull the strap, engage the core, bend the knee, take the strap away, and then let that left leg release down to the mat. Notice if it now feels just as light and just as long as the right. Bring the feet together, stretch the toes, flex the feet, give them a little circle through the ankles, shake the legs, shake the hips, take the arms up above you, shake the shoulders, and then draw the knees in towards the chest. And roll over to one side. Take your time to come up here to avoid any dizziness. Good. Let's come into a forward fold in dragonfly. So dragonfly is nice wide legs, we've just warmed up our inner thighs there. So hopefully this one isn't too challenging. And you can, of course, use blocks or a bolster to support your head. You do not have to just hold the fold. So you might just have a couple of blocks there to rest the head on. Of course, you don't have to use the props at all, and you can simply come into the fold, taking time to get there. I'm going to hold for about 3 minutes once more. So even if you can't take the legs out to the sides as much as I can, you can still do it with the legs apart, maybe at about a 35 or 45 degree angle. And if the legs are particularly tight, you can soften into the back of the knees.
So relaxing the feet down onto the mat. Nice. There we go. So it's about finding a modification that really does work for you, that actually benefits you. And again, you're working towards this edge and you want to be able to feel something. And dragonfly is usually the one which you might feel the most. Whether you feel that into the inner groin, the inner thighs, or the spine. Maybe you feel it through the glutes. Softening into the breath. Relaxing, releasing, letting go as much as you can. Maybe your edge here is a lot lower than some of the other postures. It varies from posture to posture. Relax the head and the neck, soften through the shoulders. Trying to make sure that those toes don't roll inwards. The inner thighs aren't rolling inwards. You're keeping the knees up towards the sky. Just a few more breaths here, doing great. Nice and slowly start to walk yourself back. Keep the chin in towards the chest as long as possible as you roll back up. The shoulders come back up in line with the hips and you start to bring yourself up into a comfortable seated posture, grounding through the sit bones. And then take time to just lift underneath the knees, bringing the legs together. And just give the knees a little press on the outer side. So you squeeze the knees, squeeze the thighs. Always feel that response as well when you come out. Equally as important to notice and observe the responses as much as when you're in the posture. Nice and slowly release. Knees come out to the side a little bit, opening up into deer pose.
So in deer pose, we have a little square here. So you've got a 90-degree bend into the knee here at the front. And you can use blocks or you can use a bolster. And you can have that bolster or the blocks on this side. So whether you've got the left or the right leg in front. And just make sure that the back leg, you might feel it's more comfortable with a little bit more space, or I prefer the heel coming in towards the buttock. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a twist. So you can bring the hand on the inside or take it around to the thigh. So you're opening it up towards the thigh, and then we're going to fold over. So that's where the blocks and the bolster come in handy, or you might just simply rest down onto the head to hands. So you've got a gentle twist going on. Release into any tight areas that you feel in the glute. Let the body weight release to the earth or to your prop. And the deer posture is a slightly softer variation than a sleeping pigeon or a sleeping swan. So it's just a little bit less intense into the knee flexion and also the piriformis stretch. So you may be feeling this into the underneath glute, the outer hip. Nice and slowly, starting to bring the hands underneath the shoulders, rolling up through the spine. And just simply switch the legs over to the other side. So again, you just make that little square there, making sure the foot feels as comfortable where it needs to be. And then opening up belly chest towards the front thigh, and then exhaling over, taking the blocks or the bolsters with you, or the head comes down to the back of the hands. Again, right and left might feel slightly different to one another. So just noticing how they both feel. Target areas may change. Breath, mind, and body. And listening to your inner voice. each breath out, letting go a little bit more each time. There's always more depth, more space, more release to be found. Slowly bringing yourself up. Hands come underneath the shoulders as you gently roll up. Take time. Bring yourself back up to seated. And we're just going to let the knees just rock over to one side and to the other. Your hands can come behind you if you like, or you might just release the hips a little bit there. Good. We're going to come down onto our backs. So swinging the legs around and just take your time. Make sure that you're nice and warm. And having a bolster or a block by the side of you. Draw the knees in towards the chest and just roll out through the spine. And just notice the spine there after that twist in the deer pose. So you might have felt a twist through the spine, a rotation. Give yourself a little shimmy and a shake, whatever feels good. So we're coming into supported bridge. So that could be with your bolster or your block. I'm going to use a block on the medium level. So the second height, placing it underneath the pelvis, making sure that it's nice and stable. It's not going to fall over. And if you've got the bolster, that's extremely comfortable, of course. So you can nestle yourself into the bolster. Soles of the feet, just relax down underneath the knees. And you might wish to take the arms back into cactus. So they come up above the head, light bend at the elbow, backs of the hands down. And just start to drop all of the weight. Give the weight into your prop. Try not to hold the posture yourself. Breathing out gives way to gravity taking over. Finding steady breath, steadiness of the mind, and steadiness of the body. Holding the posture, being still. And once more, just finding what your edge might be. Letting go of muscle engagement. Releasing the hands back to the side of the body. Rolling the shoulder blades out from underneath you, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips, taking the prop away, bolster or block, And then gently rolling down, shoulder blades, upper, middle, lower back. Take a constructive rest, which is feet go wide, knees drop in towards one another. Hands might just rest on the belly or the mat. Just take a moment to allow the body to respond. Again, taking the proper way allows yourself to be completely flat onto the mat. Heel toe the feet into parallel. And then widen the knees out to the side, opening up into butterfly pose or reclined butterfly. Soles of the feet come together, knees rest out to the side. You don't need to bring the feet in too close. And left hand goes onto the heart space, right hand comes onto the belly, and the elbows rest by the side of the rib cage. Close the eyes if you haven't already. And let's find this final posture before relaxation. Soften through the glutes and the outer hip. Soften into the inner thighs, the groin, the hip flexors. And relaxing through the sphincter, the lower back, the pelvis. Breathe deeply into both palms of your hands. Belly and chest rise. And belly and chest lower. On your next exhale breath, relax the hands to the thighs. Carefully lift the legs together. Don't let the hips lift them in. And then gently draw the knees into the chest. Roll and massage out, circling the knees one way and the other. And then opening up the hips to circle into the joints. That was your last posture before Shavasana. So making yourself warm and comfortable for Shavasana using blankets, eye pillows, bolsters underneath the knees or supporting the head. Take the feet long, or soles of the feet might go onto the mat. And make sure that when you place your arms out to the sides, palms face up and the shoulder blades are nicely spread out underneath you. The buttocks are spread out and relaxed. You're not touching anything either side of you. And now this is the posture where you don't really have an edge, but it's also one of the hardest to master because the mind tends to wander. So continue and maintain your presence within the practice, within your breath, and within the physical. So just noting sensations that you might actually feel as you lie here for the next few minutes of silence. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. Taking a deep breath in, bringing awareness back to your breath, a nice deep sigh, and exhale out. Begin to move hands, wrists, toes, ankles. Never rushing to awaken from your Shavasana, as much as you would never rush to wake up in the morning. So choosing to either give yourself that big stretch through the body, or just gently drawing the knees in and rolling out, massaging through the spine after a good night's sleep. It's very similar. We just have that 5-6 minutes lie down at the end of our practice to really seal the deal. Take time to roll over to one side. And then nice and gently press yourself up, return up to that comfortable seat, whatever that was for you, whether it is against a wall, sitting on a block or a bolster. Bring the hands into the heart center. palms, fingers touch. And just sit nice and tall here and just take a note to see how you feel. Give yourself that body scan all the way from the crown of the head down through the spine, down the legs, into the feet. And just remind yourself of your own intuition, your own ability to listen to your inner voice. It is the best guide for you. And always thank your body, your breath, and your focus, that mind, body, and breath trinity. And I thank you all. Namaste.